Okay, welcome to episode 1 of Strategies for Stress. My name is Eddie.
My name's Lauren.
I'm Shane.
Okay, we'll get right into it. So first, we're just going to go around the table and just share some experiences we have dealing with stress. Each of us is going to talk about what caused it, how we coped with it, and what we finally learned from it. Is there anyone who would like to go first?
Yeah, so I can start. And I was thinking about it because last week I had a lot of midterms and stuff and a lot of projects I need to work on. And then I'd say that I was pretty stressed during that time. And then I thought of it there's two ways to deal with stress. You deal with the source or you deal with how you cope with it. And then I even told Eddie, anytime I meet someone, I tell him I'm cooked or it's bad. Because it was.
You've been saying that.
It was bad. But then I was thinking maybe you just you should never really say that and just keep telling yourself that just grit through it. Because you keep telling yourself that it honestly just stresses you out more. And it's really bad. It's just not good. So just keep telling yourself you can do it. And then also make sure you get good sleep, at least 7 hours. Because then when you start to cut down the sleep, it's so bad. It just makes it so much worse.
Have you not been sleeping much?
I've been getting good sleep. It's
I feel called out.
yeah, it gets so much worse to get this bad sleep.
That was me last quarter.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
Me personally, I've historically had a pretty bad and unhealthy relationship with stress, but I'm trying to revamp it to where I'm only stressed out about the things that are in my control, because if there's nothing I can do about it, there's no point in me stressing out about it. Nothing that I do is going to have a positive or negative impact at that point. But there's definitely, at least personally in my life, I've always had a certain level of stress placed on me, especially in high school. I think because we're all here at UCLA, all of us had those extracurriculars, all of us had those tough weekends, and really difficult schedules. And so because that's been so ingrained to me since I was really little, my relationship with stress has been pretty unhealthy because I think that it's part of my everyday, I guess it is part of my everyday life, but it's in a very substantial amount that I don't think should be normalized.
I see. Yeah, I've tried to tell myself the same thing, just worry about what you can control and anything else, just let it be. But it's hard. Yeah. And going back to what you said, Shane, about every time you see me, you're I'm so cooked. I'd be doing the same thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Every quarter, when it comes time to take finals or even midterms, when people are Eddie, how are you doing? I'm I'm cooked. I'm cooked.
But I'm curious as to how many times have you said that and how many times have you actually been cooked? You know,
that's the thing.
What was the end result? Do you get what I mean?
I usually do well. I guess sometimes my level of stress is a little unwarranted. It's just I like to overstress. I think that's why.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of us can relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel sometimes, usually I came out all right, but not for that physics midterm. But it doesn't matter anymore because I already did that, and now I just gotta get ready for the next one. And
yeah,
I think that's important. Just especially I do that all the time. When I'm done with something stressful, I just forget about it. Obviously you learn what you learn from it,
mm-hmm.
and try and do better next time. But you shouldn't really think about it too much. I actually don't like it when I finish a midterm or a test and then people come and talk to me what'd you get on this or what'd you get on that, because then if I just I don't want to think about it anymore if it's already done, especially answers, because if I do something wrong, it just makes me more stressed and that's just annoying. So yeah,
No, I get that. It's you already turned it in. Even if your answer is different from mine, neither of us is gonna change our answers anymore, right?
Yeah.
It is what it is at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Sometimes, yes, I do agree with that premise, but also I am definitely guilty of doing that because I want to know what to expect. Because for me, one of the toughest parts about taking a test or a quiz or anything like that is that the waiting period for my grade back. I am very uncomfortable with the unknown, so I will still be stressed out even after like the I guess stressful event is over. So for me, doing that kind of sets an expectation because I hate doing well on a test and then finding out that I absolutely bombed it. Like that's my worst feeling.
Like you want to,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess you want to like set a certain level of expectation. You never want to do worse than you expect.
Exactly.
That's a bad feeling.
Yeah. Because if you expect to do bad and you do bad, it's like, well,
It was
you know,
yeah.
like that's my fault. But I don't know, like my way of coping with stress I mean, it's been mostly unhealthy, I'm not gonna lie. I've been trying to be better about it. But there's certain outlets that have been turned toxic for me. Like, for example, some people, they deal with their stress by going to the gym or like working out. And like that was my way of coping when I was younger, but then that created an unhealthy relationship because I started to do that way too much and I was completely dependent on it. So I don't know. There's different ways to cope, but it's hard to find a healthy way and maintain it, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that people say they like get rid of stress by like lifting or like doing like any sort of exercise. And then like I was kinda like that, but then like sometimes lifting makes me like more stressed if I'm like doing like really bad. Like it's just a bad day. It just makes it like so much worse. Like what and it's like it just depends on how you take it, I guess. And like how because things that are important to you also like cause you the most stress probably. So like yeah, I need to figure out a better way to cope. I don't even know what I do really. I just kind of like stop thinking about it. Like I'll just like distract myself with something else.
Like, I mean, what takes your mind off of stress usually, besides the gym?
Any hobbies?
I don't know. Just like listening to music, that definitely helps.
Yeah.
And then singing, and that helps actually. Or just like yelling, yelling like as loud as you can.
Are you one of those people on finals week?
I don't do that.
No.
No, I haven't done that yet. But I used to like sometimes if like driving alone, I would just like yell like really loud. Like while I'm driving.
Wait, I feel that though. I do feel that.
I've done
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I've done
Wait,
that.
I don't think I've ever heard you yell.
Nah, I mean, yeah, just like let it out in the car because like no one really hears you or something.
Well, I feel like Shane doesn't really increase his, I guess, volume very often. Like we always hear him at the same tone.
No, it was bad. They pickleball, bro. I was like, how can I mad? That was not a good time, bro.
We don't need to talk about that.
Oh? There's lore that I'm not part of here. Okay, well.
Maybe some other time.
Yeah. Do you guys have any like techniques, like specific techniques for stress relief?
Time management. Like, well, not. I guess it's not really. That's like stress prevention more than stress relief.
Yeah.
But like, if I like, I guess, like halfway through last quarter, I like realized like I just got too much stuff to do, and I needed to start like making to-do lists.
Yeah.
Like I needed like an idea of like, oh, can I actually fit everything into my schedule, and like when am I gonna do what? So since then I've been like every day, like if I like see like a new assignment on Canvas, I'll add that to my to-do list, even if it's like a week or 2 weeks out. That way like I see it every day and like oh, when am I gonna do this? I guess that takes some stress off of me, knowing that I have time to do things and I have everything planned out.
Yeah, like you can visualize it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, I feel that. Like I'm completely dependent on my planner. If I lose my planner, I will miss so many things. Like I won't show up to events. I won't go where I'm supposed to go because everything is on that. I don't know, for stress relief, I feel like one of the things that I do, especially immediately after, like if I know that I bombed something, I'll call a person who already knows the context of what's going on, because I don't like having to go through a whole explanation to start ranting. So I really try to find someone who already knows where I'm at. And most of the time it's like my parents or like a close friend, and just being able to talk it out. And if they're able to validate me, it makes me feel a lot better. If they're not able to validate me because it really was on me, sometimes it makes me feel worse. But at the end of the day, that also forces me to learn from it. So as long as I feel like I got something good out of it, like whether I learned something or I'm going to change something after the fact, it does make me feel better because I'm like, okay, there was a point to that. So I really try to find purpose whenever a really stressful event happens.
I understand both those. I remember, like when things get really bad, that's when I start making like a calendar and like start putting things like on the list, and I think that does help. Like just like seeing what you gotta do, and then I also like call my mom or something, or like I like call a friend. That definitely helps, and just like cope or something. I don't know. Well, I don't really know what I say, but like, yeah, I just rant about like anything. So I think crying helps too. It makes you feel better sometimes.
No, real.
Yeah. Yeah, I find that I talk to my friends a lot, whenever I'm going through anything. Just sometimes they're able to relate to me too, right? That's
Yeah.
able to make me feel a lot better.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the time it's between my parents and my friends, but also I feel like my parents, I don't know, I feel like we can all relate because we all grew up in Asian households. Their perception of what is a reasonable amount of stress versus mine is very different. Like my mom, she grew up in Korea, and so for her, she's always had a very tough education system placed onto her from, a very young age. And don't get me wrong, of course, the American education system is really tough, but Korea just has a totally different standard. And so whenever I complained about like academic schoolwork, I never really got that validation that I was seeking for. So I don't know. Sometimes like it can make me feel worse because I'm like, damn, I'm not getting any type of, I guess, approval of my feelings. So I feel like that created an unhealthy correlation because I always thought that my feelings weren't valid because of that.
Yeah. I mean, just my immediate family's in the U.S. The rest of our family's in China. So all my cousins, they go to school in China, and like every time I feel like complaining about school here, I just think of them and like what they have to go through.
That's actually pretty true. Like, I like when sometimes I think of like stress and I think of like my cousins because they like had to go through a lot of stuff, and then yeah, I think that helps you and just like if you gotta think you just gotta think you can do it. If they can do it, then you can do it, and you just gotta like grit through, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I haven't been as stressful as I've been in high school like these days. Like I don't know why, because the work has been like just as much, but I just like kind of stopped thinking about it. Like I don't really know why. I'm just
You're used to it?
I don't think I'm used. I don't get that stressed that often because like I don't have that much. Like second quarter was really nice. I didn't have that much work.
Mm-hmm.
First quarter was like, it was kind of bad, but it wasn't too bad. This quarter's a lot worse. But like, I don't know. You stuck it out. Right?
Or do you think it's like because you're learning concepts you're unfamiliar with, or?
Why it's worse?
Yeah, is it like?
Yeah. Also, it's just a lot. There's a lot of things to do. Like you get like your assignments, and you put your stuff in your calendar, and then your cluster teacher puts on another essay on there, and it's like, damn, bro. But
See, I'm pretty much the opposite. Winter quarter was the roughest for me. I was most stressed out then. Also, personally, winter depression really hit. My mood is very dependent on the weather. And so winter quarter, I wanted to be a hermit. I didn't want to go out. This quarter's been, in terms of classes, they're academically harder, but I feel like if I had this set of classes my last quarter, I would have crashed because like it was just way too much to handle. But I want to go back to what you said about high school, where if I compare my workload of now versus high school is much worse, yet I somehow still feel the same exhaustion or like the same constant tiredness that I had in high school right now, which is kind of strange. Like, I don't know how I was able to wake up so early and go to school for like 7 hours a day.
Yeah, I wondered the same.
Yeah.
Maybe because things carry more weight now.
That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why, like, we get stressed over littler things.
Yeah, because it's like an essay now in one of your classes counts so much more than what it did in high school. And there's a different standard, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. The thing is, when I'm here, I'm definitely like not as comfortable as I am at home. I mean, that's like one thing that's better about high school. Like, you usually go home and like you see your family, and it's nice. But here, like, you go back to your dorm, and you're sleeping with like two other people, and like maybe your roommates are nice, but like sometimes it's just like less comfortable. It's fine. It's like,
Well, I guess it depends on the roommate, huh?
yeah, it depends
Yeah.
on roommates, but yeah,
Well,
I'm just less comfortable.
You live in a classic triple, right?
Yeah.
Do you live?
Yeah, but he did randoms, and I did.
Same.
Oh, like I just picked two of my close friends, so like we just get along. We make things work.
See, my roommates and I were like ships passing by. Like, one of my roommates, she and I will talk occasionally. Like, she's been there for some of my rants, like after a test or something. But the other one goes home every weekend, so I never really bond with her. And I feel that in the way that if I'm just alone in that room with the one that I haven't really had a chance to bond with, and I'm in a really bad mood, like something bad happened or I'm very stressed out, I just don't feel comfortable. Like, I can't settle into my bed and just rot like I normally would at home. So I definitely feel that. Even though we live in a shoebox, which kind of forces us to socialize with them. But there's pros and cons to that, obviously.
Like, even if your roommates are good, I mean, just like, I just prefer to sleep in my own room, but it's fine. Like, it's not too bad. It's just I'm just more comfortable at home. And also, when I get stressed, I start to think about like the past, and it just makes you like more sad. Like, it's bad.
Oh.
It's, like, because started thinking about like going on vacation or something, and it was like a lot nicer, and then it's like that stuff's like bad. It just makes it so much worse. Yeah, you guys get that?
I do relate to that. Like, sometimes I'll scroll through my memories and then I'll see like photos or like videos of me on vacation. I'm like, damn, I didn't know how good I had it. But also, I guess something that is similar to that strategy though is because there's moments in time, like there were moments in high school where I was like, holy shit, I'm not going to be able to pass this AP exam, or I'm not going to be able to get the score I need to land an A in this class. And I would just have panic attacks, but then I realized where I'm at now, and I'm like, okay, but I moved past that. Like, it wasn't the end of the world. That was a hurdle, but it didn't look like a hurdle to me back then. Like, it looked like the end of the world. So it's like, yeah, you could look at the past and be like, holy shit, I had it really good. Or you can be like, okay, but there were moments where it was bad and I got through it. So I don't know, that could maybe turn into a coping strat instead of,
That's true.
you know.
Yeah. I feel like I forgot a lot of stuff that was really bad. I remember which was never like I remember it was really bad in junior year. Senior year, first semester was pretty bad.
Oh yeah, that was.
That was a rough
I
time.
did not sleep much.
Yeah, no one talks about it. Senior year, first semester, it's so hard.
Yeah.
And I
Like-
swear my teachers were pushing harder than ever.
No, seriously.
They were out to get me.
Yeah. I think it's because they know that that's like your weakest point. They're like, ah,
That's so evil.
finally. No, yeah. Because I feel like junior year, everyone tells you that it's bad, so you know, or you have a certain expectation when coming to it, but you know you're going to get through it. Versus senior year, like you're finishing up your applications, you're really trying to find the motivation to stick to anything that you did throughout those 3 years. Senioritis is starting to hit. All these emotions are starting to hit because you're realizing that everything's coming to an end. Like, you're no longer going to go into the same classroom. Like, literally your entire everyday routine is just gone. So it's a different type of difficulty. Like, junior year, I feel like is academically difficult, time management difficult, but senior year, especially first semester, it's emotionally difficult. And it's not really addressed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Do you guys have any like sources of stress other than school that you'd be wanting to talk about?
I
Anything?
don't know. maybe that I've been single for 19
Oh
years.
my god! I mean, yeah, love life stress, that's real.
Or the lack of. I don't know.
Lack of.
I don't think about it too much, but sometimes
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, like, after all these years. But
That's the
I
same
don't know.
with me. Like, that's the same with me, but like, I sort of like care less. Just like it's not that deep,
Yeah. But this is not our podcast to
Yeah.
talk about.
No, real. That's not our topic to delve into. For me, all of my like extracurriculars give me at least some level of stress. Mock trial was one of my biggest stressors winter quarter, because mock trial, the competition season or the main competition season is winter quarter, and we were putting in like 20-hour weeks. So that was a lot. Like spending 4 hours in the same building 5 days in a row, it was a lot. So that was a huge stressor of mine. I didn't really deal with it that well. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty rough. But I figured it out like more towards the end. Another is I'm part of a sorority, and don't get me wrong, it's a lot of fun a lot of the time. Like that is one of my ways of stress relief, where like I motivate myself to get stuff done so I can go out with my friends, and like sisterhoods and stuff. But it also causes me a certain level, because like if we don't show up to things that are mandatory, I get a fine, and like it's also financial stress too. So that is another thing, financial stress, just in general.
Yeah, I mean, I think the other source of stress for me is like probably like lifting, because like when it's a bad lift, it's such a bad day, and like you could really just like ruin the mood. I think when it's a good lift, it's like a better day, but like yeah, I don't know, because even though it's probably not supposed to be like that, if you're trying to use a stress relief, it's definitely not supposed to be like that. But like, yeah, that's the thing. Like the things that are important, they can take you down sometimes.
Well, it's probably because you're good at it, right? So like you have like a certain level of expectation for yourself.
Maybe. I mean,
I mean, does it help you make you feel better about yourself? Usually, like if it goes well.
it can, yeah, but like not that often. I don't know.
Because like, I feel like I'm more casual about it. Like sometimes I get a little frustrated when I have a bad day at the gym, but like I feel like I don't take it as seriously as a lot of other people. So it's like whatever. Usually, I use it mostly as a coping mechanism. Honestly, you know, sometimes I get tired of doing homework, so I'm like screw it. I'll just go to the gym.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, sometimes I'll even use it as a way to procrastinate. Like if I don't want to do an assignment, I'll go to the gym.
Me too.
And it's productive procrastination, because like I'm getting something done. Me personally, I kind of relate to both sentiments, because I used to be a competitive swimmer for a really long time, like for about 8 years. And so I would, be working out like 7 times a week. And that caught up to a point where if I had a bad practice, it ruined the rest of my day. Like I didn't want to go back to the pool. I didn't want to, it just created an unhealthy balance. So I definitely relate to where you said, like, if it's a bad workout, it just ruins the mood. And if it didn't ruin my mood, it would like be extra motivation. But then that extra motivation, if I didn't carry that over and made the next one a good one, then it was just a snowball effect. But now that I'm in college, I'm no longer a competitive swimmer. I only work out when I want to work out. And so if I just get to the gym, I'm like, okay, like I made it here. Like I showed up, So I try to give myself credit for just showing up. And it's made it better, because like now when I go work out, it's more casual. Like I'm not trying to hit a new PR every single day, or, have these huge major goals.
Hey guys, I'm Natalie. Okay, do you just want me to? Okay, this is gonna be like the second segment. So I think like my experience with stress. Is it audio okay? Yeah. Okay. I think like my experience with stress, like I feel like for the longest time I didn't realize like I was a really chronic stressor. Like ever since I was like a little kid, which I don't know why. Like I think when you guys were talking about like all these like academic expectations, I feel like that was really placed upon me ever since, and like ingrained in me ever since I was like a little kid. So I feel like I always like pushed myself to do really good, really well. But I think like during like COVID that era, and like up until senior year, I was like super stressed, and like my mental health was just like not it. So I think like coming into college, like I think I wanted to like change my ways a little bit and manage my stress a little better. But I think fall quarter I was pretty much going through it a lot, because I didn't like the transition was pretty tough. It's like going from like semester system to high school, and like the quarter system, everything just flies by super quick. I just didn't know how to manage my time really good. And I think one thing that I realized is like the way that like stress like affects your body too. Like, I feel like I tend to get really sick around like midterms or finals week, and I've noticed that like every single quarter, and like I always call my mom. She's like, "You're sick again." I'm like, "Yeah, queen, it's midterm season." But yeah, I think I didn't realize it up until like this quarter. I was like, "Why am I getting sick again?" But I mean, it's like midterms. I think one of the ways I try to deal with my stress was like going on runs around campus. Like that was a pretty big like stress reliever for me because it was just like I felt kind of like free, just like running around and not really having to think about anything. Sometimes I would go to the gym, but if it's like too packed, that's when I'm like, okay. What was another question? Sorry, I'm just like going on a tangent.
We're just honestly we're just yapping today.
I'm just on a
There's
tangent
no
right now.
there's no format. Just
Okay. Well, I think one of the times where I was like really stressed was during like college apps, like because I think it was like the uncertainty where like I didn't know like where I was gonna like end up going, and it was just like constantly on my mind like like is all this hard work and like stress I'm putting myself going to be worth it in the end? And I think that stressor like in the back of my mind just creates this like sense of doubt that's like I don't think I should be like dealing with all of that. I think another way I deal with stress, I used to journal a lot. I don't do it as often.
I do that.
You journal?
Yeah, every day.
You're a journal girly? Okay. You're a journaling girly? Okay.
Every day.
Every day, really? That's really consistent. Because I think I stopped around like winter quarter. I don't know. I haven't been journaling recently, but it helps me a lot because I feel like I like express my feelings better like writing them down rather than like talking it out. Like I feel like I struggle a lot like with talking out my emotions. Yeah, journaling has helped a lot, but I don't know. It's kind of sad because I feel like every time I do look through my journal, it's always sad stuff. It's never like
Really?
Yeah, it's never like happy. Like I'm never like writing about happy stuff. It's always like
maybe it's like because like you put in your journal what you don't want to say to other people, right? Like,
yeah. But I think it's just really depressing sometimes, just like reading back, and I'm just like, why am I like constantly going through it? Like I put like the dates and stuff, and I'm just like, it's consistent. But I haven't been journaling recently, so I think that's good. Oh, or writing in my notes. I used to write in my notes a lot. Yeah. I think that's about it. I think this quarter for me has been slightly less stressful, but I think it's just because like I've managed my time better, and I feel like I've learned like I think winter quarter and fall quarter I was going through it a lot just because I didn't know how to manage my time and everything just like came like on me and I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, it takes some time to adjust to college. I feel like I had that same adjustment period, just trying to manage my time, because I mean for us two, me and Shane, like our high school, like they already taught things pretty quickly, but I came here and I felt like it was even quicker. So it's like if you miss one lecture, like especially for your math class or something, like if you miss one lecture, it's so hard to catch up again. So like I just had to adapt to that.
Yeah, I definitely had to adjust like the living situation. Like, I got pretty homesick. I still got pretty homesick, but like, I don't want to go home every weekend because like I don't want to like waste gas and stuff like that. So I go home like every like 3 or 4 weeks, and that was definitely something to get used to. Like I really miss like my dog and cat and stuff like that. So, yeah. And with journaling, I only do that. You mean just like writing about your thoughts, right?
I only do like anything.
Yeah. I like do that when I get mad. Like that's the only time I do it. Like when I get a bit angry.
You have really good coping mechanisms.
Yeah, I think that's nice. But then it's also like I'll get mad like one night and I'll like write it down, and then next day like I won't be mad anymore. I'll see all this stuff. It's like, but it's not that deep, you know. I mean, sometimes I'm like so mad that it's bad, but not usually. It hasn't been too bad.
Oh yeah, Natalie, you mentioned like, I guess like the physical consequences of stress. I recall back in junior year, like I really felt that. It was like span of 2 weeks. It's like February or something. Like it was second semester of junior year in high school. I don't know. I just burnt out. I don't know why. It just like one day I just came home and like I was taking AP Chinese, like outside of school, and so like it was like a few days out of the week I'd come home and I just take this online class. And like I remember like I came back one day and I took the class and I just started crying. And then like for like 2 weeks after that, like I just felt burnt out and I had no appetite at all and I couldn't sleep. Like I'm like, damn, like I can actually like physically feel it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just because, like, I mean, I was telling my roommate about this, and, like, she didn't, like, really quite understand it, because, like, she was pretty stressed in high school, too, like, pulling all-nighters and everything, and we were just, like, talking to each other about it. And I was like, girl, no wonder you were getting sick, because, like, your body's, like, not getting rest, and, like, you're, like, stressing yourself out physically, like, mentally and physically, so, like, obviously it's not going to be able to, like, heal in time. And I feel like that, like, that conversation solved a lot for her, because she was getting consistently sick, like, during junior year, senior year. And I don't know, I didn't realize it was just, like, a really big, like, physical aspect to it, too, I think, until I came to college. So, yeah.
I've never really had anything, I don't think, too, like, physically bad. I used to be really tired. That was, like, the lack of sleep. I think I told Aida this, like, my dad used to, like, drive me to the gym, and I'd fall asleep on the way there. It'd be, like, a 10-minute ride. That'd be so bad. It'd be, like, such a horrible time. And then I used to get really depressed on Sundays. Like, Sunday would be, like, the worst day of the week, just because, like, Monday was the next day. I don't remember what year that was, but, like, I used to be, like, so depressed on Sundays. It's, like, Sunday evening, it'd be, like, such a horrible time. Like, it was bad.
Would you say you're happier now?
Yeah, I don't really get that Sunday depression. I don't think so. And then I think part of that is just like a lot more sleep. Like I get like over 6 hours these days, so that's pretty good. Sometimes like over 7. If you get like, I used to be like living off of 5 hours of sleep, and like I don't know how I did that. It was just so bad, and it really makes things like so much worse. Like, how's your guys' sleep? Like,
It varies depending on the quarter.
Hmm.
Like
Really?
last quarter I was running on like 5 to 6 hours of sleep, and that was horrendous. And I think it was because of my 8 a.m. Like, it makes it so that no matter how late you stay up studying, you always have to get up early. So like some days I just had to stay up late, and then like it didn't matter. I still had to get up early to go to class, because it was neither, the notes weren't posted, there was no recording. So like if you don't go, like you don't really learn it unless you learn really well from the textbook, which I didn't. So, but I don't have an 8 a.m. this quarter, and it's like night and day, honestly. I have a 9 a.m., which is only like a 1 hour difference, but I'm getting so much more sleep.
I think winter quarter, or like last quarter, I had like 6-7 hours of sleep. I think I function like okay, like that type of sleep. I don't know. I think I try to like get myself into like a routine. I think I try to like get myself into a routine, like, okay, like I'm gonna get ready at bed at 11 and then go to sleep at like around like 12 or 1ish, just so I can like force myself into the habit of like waking up at like 8 a.m. like every day. But I mean, it's hard to be like consistent and stick to that schedule with like different like workloads and stuff. I think recently my schedule was pretty thrown off, because like I feel like I haven't been going to class. And yeah, I don't know. It's probably just like I haven't been going to class, and you know, with like recent events and everything getting moved online and everything, I feel like that kind of threw me off of my schedule a little bit. And it's been hard for me to like get back into it.
Yeah. Wait, this is a weird question, but do you guys ever feel unproductive when you sleep too much? Like when you get like an actual adequate amount of sleep, do you feel like you're not working hard enough?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes if I don't get enough sleep, like especially on the weekend, if I don't get enough sleep, I'll take a nap, and it's just such a waste of time. Like, it's so bad. Like, napping, it actually is like sometimes just a waste of time. Especially if I get enough sleep, I'm just napping for like this, like napping. I don't have enough time for that. It gets bad.
Like sometimes I get 8 to 9 hours, and then I think to myself, like, does this mean I'm not busy enough, or like I'm not doing enough? Like sometimes I feel like, oh, I shouldn't have this much time to sleep. I don't know. I know it's bad, but like,
I think I used to feel really guilty for taking naps, because like usually like, or I took a nap like right before this podcast, and like oh sorry, let me move closer. Okay, I think like what is it like sometimes like I'll be like, okay, I'll take like a 15 minute 20-minute nap, and then it spirals into like 2 hours or something, and I feel super guilty after that, because I'm just like, yeah, like I feel like it's like I'm wasting time and I'm not doing anything productive. But at the same time, it's just like, well, why I'm feeling tired. I feel like I should like give my body like a rest. But I don't know. I've been trying to like, I think last quarter I was on like a no nap streak. Like it was rough. It was really rough. Like compared to fall quarter. So I think fall quarter, I feel like I had it easy with my classes, but it was just like I couldn't really time manage because like one of my classes was asynchronous and I had like one class per day. But it's the fact that like I just had so much time on my hands, but not knowing how to like manage it properly. It made me spiral, and like I don't know, I was just like I felt like I was sleeping all day and just doing all my work at night, and it was really unhealthy. So yeah.
I don't really get guilt for like. You said you get guilt for like sleeping 8 hours at night.
Yeah.
I don't get that. I only get it if I'm taking naps. Like,
Yeah.
I see.
but if I get 8 hours like in the night, because that's usually when if I get 8 hours in the night, it's because I like manage my time like well enough. So I'm like proud of that. But like yeah, that's like pretty interesting that you like get stressed over, or I mean,
Yeah.
you feel guilty over that.
But it's so bad. I don't think I should feel that way.
I feel I agree. I feel more guilty taking naps than just like
Yeah.
sleeping a long time, because like if you're already sleeping like full hours of sleep, then might as well just sleep the full hours and not feel guilty. I don't know. I think that's my
Yeah.
mindset. Like at least like just sleep the full hours and not just like
But I feel like we all have that one friend that just like does everything, like every club and like, every extracurricular. And like sometimes like when I sleep too much, I'm like thinking, oh, like they're probably still working hard and I'm just sleeping.
That's like you for me, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
I swear I don't do that much.
Nah, I mean I don't do that much. Like, I feel I definitely waste like a lot of time. That definitely makes things worse. But also I can't. It's really difficult for me to work, like for too much at one time. It's like I just can't study too long, not until the last day. That's like when my productivity is like a lot higher. But then it just adds more stress because like you just feel less productive, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still I think I can't study for a long time either, because like I think my peak is probably like 2 hours, 3 hours, but within that time frame, like I feel like I get myself more stressed by like going on my phone, going on TikTok,
Yeah.
going on Instagram, but like I'm just like doom scrolling, like I'm not even like thinking about anything,